WJG Sports. We journal great.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Just Like Brothers podcast. I'm here, Kai Jones, live from the set of WJG Sports as usual.
My name is Laika Bibi. I'm in my house in Greenville. Of course, with everything that's going on with social distancing and the coronavirus, of course, we've had a kind of a struggle trying to find a way to record a podcast, but we have found a way via Skype. We found a way, so yeah.
Yeah. So it's been pretty slow for sports for the most part, but the good thing that we've had, of course, is kids, committing to play basketball, even football during this time. So, we have plenty of kids, who are committing right now as, colleges and make their way around trying to figure out who are the scholarship-worthy players.
Absolutely.
Of course, yesterday we had Devin Brown commit to Wake Tech.
Yep,
so
congratulations to
man, he's had offers from some D3s, some JUCOs. Devin was a late bloomer this year. In his career at Eastern Wayne, but of course he turned into a monster this year. I believe he finished with 17 points, 11 boards, 17 points, like 13 boards, and I think a block a half a game or something like that. So. He really showed that he was a scholarship-worthy player. Now he's going to commit to one of the best JUCOs in the Southeast. And I think that was a huge pickup for Jawan Baker and them. Coach
Wainwright,
Coach Wainwright. I think that was a great pickup for them.
Absolutely.
Devin, of course, I don't see him spending more than 2 years. I don't see him spending more than a year at the JUCO route because, like I said, he already had D3s, and I think had he had this type of leap his junior year, I think there was been a lot more programs in the D2 to low D1 range who would have been looking at a guy like him who's definitely figured out how to play basketball.
Absolutely. Devin, I think he's one of 3 players who averaged a double-double in the WJG area this season, right?
Yeah, 3 players.
Devin, of course, helped lead the Eastern Wayne Warriors to the 3rd round of the 3A state playoffs. They beat West Brunswick, and then they beat the number 2 seed in the East, New Hanover, at their place convincingly before losing to a great Southern Durham team with Ricky Council and company. Congratulations to him as well. He committed to Wichita State. But Devin has been a monster at times. He has been a dominant player for Eastern Wayne.
Right.
Whenever he has a big game, they usually win. So I think Wake Tech is a perfect opportunity for him to improve as a basketball player and then get to a higher level eventually. And I think that's a really good coaching staff for him to go to.
Right. Obviously, you don't often see 6'8" big man coming in as skilled as he is to the JUCO level, but I think a lot of prospects are starting to realize now that JUCO may be a better option than going to a D3 or an NAIA for a year or two, because you can transfer right away from a JUCO, and a lot of times those JUCOs really understand, they're trying to make players for another place. And college coaches are now starting to look more at the JUCOs, and they're recruiting more from there than they are from the high schools because, just frankly, it's pretty easy to say the high school players aren't coming in normally as equipped and ready to contribute right away.
Absolutely. I also, to add to your point, you said about going JUCO versus Division III or NAIA. It's also like going Division II and Division III instead of Division I.
Right.
At least, of course, and as I want to transition into that, having 2 prospects as good as they are in Samaj Teal from Farmville Central, the senior guard, and Kinston senior guard Isaac Parson, both choosing the Division II route and both choosing the same school, Winston-Salem State, a team that won the CIAA tournament and had a lot of Division I talent on their squad. Robert Cologne, who's from Jacksonville, NC. He's going to
future pro.
Yeah, he's going to be a pro somewhere. I know that.
Yeah.
He's testing the NBA draft waters, of course, and we hope it's there, of course, absolutely. But now Winston-Salem State is set for the next 4 years of having two, in my opinion, and I'm sure in your opinion as well, two for sure Division I prospects. I mean, Samaj had multiple Division I offers. So
right. I believe Isaac would have had more. I think Isaac would have gotten a couple of D1 offers, had a few other names come off the board, such as, like Soldier, for instance. Soldier, I think a lot of schools like the JMU, I think those schools are kind of counting on him to be available. I think Isaac would have probably been a very good backup plan for any school who was trying to replace what they lost in Soldier as far as, on the recruiting trail. Because, you and I both know, there are certain guys, there are certain teams who give out offers to a lot of kids. And then there's some who they check off, they go for the big target doesn't get it, then they go to the second, third, fourth, so on and so on. So I think that was a really good pickup for Winston-Salem State. It was great that Isaac and Soldier talked about it, and now they're going to be teammates after being adversaries for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's an easy thing to consider, when they both have the same trainers.
Yes, they do. And
me and you have been talking about this for the past year, basically, of understanding the fact that these kids are the ones who bring each other in.
These kids are friends. I've reiterated this point to a lot of people. Obviously, right. Farmville and Kinston have a healthy rivalry, a great rivalry. I mean, they're two great programs here in the 252. And of course, they've gone at it for a while. I mean, they've played the playoffs each of the last 2 years. And I think 3 of the last 4 or something like that. But these kids have known each other for a long time. I mean, we talked about this previously. I mean, just the other day I was seeing Samaj and trained with Jaquan Mosley, who, congratulate him too. He's going to Pitt Community College.
Right.
And of course, Dontre Styles is going to be playing at a high major school somewhere, of course. But all three of them are training together. I mean, these kids are friends. They love each other. They represent the 252 well, and they're like a family here. It's really like this area code is a family here, and I think it's kind of translated to the high school recruiting scene. And these kids, if you get one, they recruit their friends. So
right, and see, that's why we are always talking about it. When you consider relationships go a long way when you talk about recruiting, and that's more than just college. That's high school as well. Kids want to just play with their friends. You consider you get you look at a situation like Wayne Kuchday with Keith McLaughlin. He has a bunch of Pitt County kids that he trains.
To the Dungeon.
Yeah. The Dungeon is probably the most popular training site for most kids, other than
all those kids. That's actually where they were at the Dungeon working out. All these kids, like from the summer, from the premier runs with Kendrick Green,
right,
and like all those Pitt County and surrounding county kids, they are all at the Premier Sports Academy in Warnerville hooping. So that's just
right. Then when you start tracing stuff down the line, I believe Vontae Hutcherson, who came to Wayne Kuchday from South Central. Of course, he played with Linwood Grandy for Team Trez, and also I think he was a Dungeon kid as well.
Isaac was on that team too, and Keyshawn Ford was on that team. So right. That's a great AAU team, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say then when you go down the line too, Garner Road. When it comes to Garner Road, Mike Best with Jaden Cooper, that was an easy connection, both on the same AAU team.
Yep. It's really just connections. It's really about like when it comes to all of this stuff, like kids recruit their friends, and I mean, I hate to say it happens at the high school level, but sometimes it kind of does.
No, it does. I mean, it's easy to see especially when you consider kids who are, lone soldiers at their schools. Like you look at a kid who's at a private school and they're scoring 30 a game, but they've only winning 10 games a season or less. it's going to be very easy to consider the fact that they might want to, ask some of their friends around and see, hey, come here, come play with me. We can play together. We can both average 20. We can both win, a lot more games. That's a situation that I think kids want to be in. Is a situation where they can win and be successful. And with public schools, their problem is they have districts and things of that nature, so you can't play with your friends in public schools. But at a private school, you can absolutely play with your friends. And private schools are becoming cheaper and cheaper, at least in this area. Wayne Country I think is very cheap. Wayne Christian is even cheaper. Greenfield has always been pretty cheap as far as the payment.
Still a lot of money, but relatively cheap.
Yeah, it's still relatively cheap when you consider the type of education that you're getting. It's a great education. So
yeah,
I mean,
it is.
At the end of the day, that's why it is still acceptable to me, because at the end of the day, kids are getting just as good, maybe even better education at the private level, and then also being able to play basketball with their friends. It's a tough situation for public schools. Like it is, but at the same time, you get blessed sometimes by being in a public school too, because sometimes you just get in some great talent who just happens to live in the area. So
yeah, I agree.
I know we're gonna have some public school coaches mad at us for saying that, but
I mean, I mean, it is a touchy subject. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, but it's all in the game, man. The game is dirty nowadays.
Yes, it is, especially in this current day. No
Yeah.
kidding.
Also, when you look at it too, right now, it's important that public school and private school coaches are being very much in sync with the AAU coaches, because
that's another thing that's kind of impacted with this whole coronavirus. So
right, coaches who are smart and trying to build programs, they gotta know, I gotta get close to the guys who are with these people more often. I mean, because you look at the AAU, it's normally 3 months, and they're with these kids, 60, 70, 80 games a year. Like a full NBA season worth of games. Versus you're in the building every day, but you're not on the road with them all summer long, and it makes a difference.
Absolutely, and I think if these coaches can all come together and do what's right for the kids, I think they could be more organized and you get kids more interest, even if it's like the ultimate dead period right now, of course. But
yeah, I mean, but this is for some kids, this is a really good point in time, because coaches are sitting home watching film. They don't really have anything else they can do. You don't really have to worry about being seen necessarily. Just send an email. Send some emails. Constantly sending emails. Talking to coaches. Just like the kids who are worried about their summers being taken away, it's the coaches who are really worried about the summer now, because they don't know what everything's going on. They think they still have to fill the roster in the fall. So they don't know what's what. They can't go to any senior showcases. They can't, at the lower levels at least, because most of the Division I, some of the top programs, most of them are filled up. They already know who's going to be who for when they come back in the fall. But for the NAIA, the JUCOs, the D2s, the D3s, this is normally their part of the. You said what?
The NCCAA and the USCAA schools as well.
Yeah. This is normally their point in time where they're out recruiting, going hard, trying to figure out to get those last minute names in there, those last 2 or 3 spots. Now they're trying to figure out, especially with all the transfer portal, what exactly is going on. So for a high school kid, this could be a really good point. If you can get a coach to actually look at your email, to look at your film, you might could pull an offer off of that, because right now coaches don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we've had multiple kids receive a lot of offers recently. Of course, Justin Stevens from Corinth Holders has gotten a few.
I believe he's up to 5.
Yeah, he's gotten a few. Christian Bullock has gotten a couple of offers. Dimitri Greif from Eastern Wayne,
Got a couple of offers.
He's got a couple of offers. Of course, just to continue with like all the
Charles
prospects.
Walker, he's gotten a couple offers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another one I feel great about. Belinda Carson, who's going to Lenore Community College.
Right. She committed.
Yeah, to play for Coach Terrence Domingo. That's a great pickup. Deanna Adams from Corinth Holders.
Yeah, she's going to Wesleyan.
Yeah, she took her official visit and then committed
right
a couple.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, right before everything went down. So, yeah, we're definitely happy for them. I mean, they've been putting in the work this season, and they've been a part of recruiting is finding the right fit. And I think all those kids are starting to realize that the fit doesn't have to be Division I. Division I is great. Obviously that's a goal for every kid, of course.
Right.
But if you find the school that's right for you, that you're gonna play a lot, you're gonna learn from the best coaches you can learn from. Like I know plenty of Division II and III, like non-Division I college coaches that are some of the best minds in college basketball. So.
Right, and you gotta look at it too, man. There's a lot of times when these Division I guys they transfer out of programs, they can't even get back to the D2 level because it's just plain and simple. You can't play at that level. You know, a lot of times coaches take a miss on those, potential.
Yeah, I think. The perfect example of this is L. Ellis. I mean, he's at Tallahassee CC in Florida. Took the JUCO route. And in 1 year, he's got just about every high major conference has had at least one school offer him. So he's and he's going to do another year there, and he's got teammates there that have played great and have gotten Division I offers and interest. So, like if you can work at it through the JUCO level and be patient, it'll come to you as long as you put in the work, like that kid did for sure. And another example of an example of a Division I kid going and leaving D1 and coming back to D2 and thriving for me would be Jalen Seegers, who was High Point Christian Academy alum, went to UNC Asheville to start his career, transferred to Fayetteville State, and they were within 3 points of the CIAA championship because of how well he played and how well their team played. So, and sometimes Division I isn't the most roses aren't red in Division I. So,
right. I mean, roses aren't red in Division II either. It's a dog-eat-dog world once you get to high school level. Because when you look at it, you're going from high school to college, you're starting all over again. You're back proving yourself. And I think a lot of times guys look at it as they come in with this attitude of, I am who I am, I proved it already. No, you're starting at the bottom of the totem pole. And if you get lucky, you're with a coach who's compassionate enough to understand how to walk you through this point of, hey, I'm starting all over again. I'm not the guy anymore. Now I'm learning how to be a good teammate. I'm learning how the college level works. So I think a really good point of reference is you look at talking about Fayetteville State, Anthony Council. He redshirted.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He redshirted this year, but he really enjoyed the process of learning the game from the sideline, also learning to be a great teammate, which he was already a great teammate.
Absolutely.
He learning the process of cheering on your teammates and not necessarily needing, to be in the spotlight, because he had been in the spotlight at Smithfield Selma for, past 2 or 3 years. And now, he's starting back over, but he's excited to get back to hooping next year because he'll have that extra redshirt year. And what you get with that redshirt year,
State's returning a lot of their team. They're going to be right back in the conversation next year. So
right, and really the coach was looking at Man to come in and be a big contributor next year.
Absolutely,
as a freshman.
Another kid who did that was Nani Reddick from South Central, I believe, at Elizabeth State redshirted as well. So, and I think Jazir Baker, who also went to South Central, was on that state championship team last year. He stayed patient as well. I think he was all rookie CIAA eventually when he got his time. So,
and see, when you look at it too, it kind of all depends on, you got to also look at where your program is at that you're going to. Are you going to a program who is looking to build for the future? Because if you're looking at a program who's going to build for the future, then they're going to be a little bit more patient with you. They're gonna kind of walk you through it. They're going to try to, make sure that you're learning, that you're preparing, that you're gearing up. Or are you walking into a team that is win now? If you're walking into a team that's win now, I mean, a lot of times either you're not going to get a lot of playing time or you're going to have to redshirt. So I think for guys right now, it's just learning about what that fit is. And it's kind of hard without that visit, but at the same time, a lot of time on these visits, it's really cotton candy and all the fun stuff of being a college player. But once you get into that afterward, all of that is over. You don't that visit, everything they talk about in that visit might not necessarily be true.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to tell kids and just people in general about, if you think you can play at the Division I level, you got to be able to, of course, first defensively, you're going to have to be able to guard. The position you play is what you can guard, of course. And another thing I would say is try play against Division II players. I guarantee you, some of those guys were playing at the Division I level before that. So you're gonna be seeing if you can play with them, maybe you can play Division I. But know that the kids that
a D3 All-American is better than probably a good 40% of Division I freshmen coming in.
Like, you have to, when you see these kids, people think like these prospects that when they play at the collegiate level, there's a reason why they're there, and it's not because they get straight buckets, and
right.
you're gonna have to be at your best. And like when it comes to like I said, when it comes to Division I, like the D2s and D3s, you never know, they could have come from a Division I school at first. So
right.
like these guys can play, and don't question the skills of these non-Division I players and prospects, and that's not just basketball, but any sport.
Right. Yeah, of course, looking at, the D3 pool, of course, CJ Ray just got an offer from Averett University, as well as Bluefield College, and now also Johnson Community. So he's up to 3. Look, it was the case. He already had one to Johnson Community. He already had one to
Eastern Mennonite University.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he had one more, too, I think.
Mid-Atlantic for baseball.
Wake Tech.
And Wake Tech, too. Okay, yeah. So he's got some kids outside of the area that I'm really happy to see offers come to them. Kids like Deshaun Edwards at North Edgecombe High got the Johnson & Wales offer.
Jaquan Ross from Clayton, he's got one from Fayetteville Tech. They have been changing him.
That was a great one. They're another great JUCO program. North Carolina's got some great JUCO programs, I'll tell you that.
Well, you have to have it when you look at all of the colleges that we have. Like, people in the Southeast don't even realize how blessed we are to have as many college basketball programs that we do. You look at, like, in the Midwest, like Kansas and Missouri and all of them, it's either D1 or NAIA. Like, that's it. There's, like, no JUCOs. It's for the most part, it is D1 or NAIA. Of course, speaking of NAIA, Mason Roosh, of course, he committed to Kentucky. I mean, what is it?
Ashbury?
I think it's Ashbury, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Ashbury.
Yeah.
Either way, I think it was great for him because, of course, he came from Kentucky and did 1 year at Clayton and was great here. Got buckets, of course.
Right.
Yes, Asbury University in Kentucky.
Right. Right.
He played a big role in this past season's Clayton Commons squad. He went to the 4th round, of course. That was a great team, of course, with B.J. Freeman and all them. But that Mason getting that type of an offer, because he had, I believe, William Peace had offered him too. So
right.
That's really
William Peace, Guilford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he had a good amount of offers. I think he probably would have ended up being a D2 somewhere, but he's a Kentucky kid and wanted to go back to his home, state. So
no problem with that at all.
Yeah, no, of course not.
I love it. How about, speaking of Peace, we had a kid go.
Oh yeah.
Our guy A-Rob, Austin Robinson from Cleveland.
Right.
And of course, Takari Evans from Kinston as well. That was I think, and also Malachi Borders from Living Water. William Peace's class was pretty nice.
Yeah. They got a nice class coming in.
Yeah, nice little class there. I'm looking forward, like I've seen a lot of Fab Florida alums commit and 910 kids, like Sebastian Hadera from Hoggard going to Central Carolina CC. That's another great JUCO program. Deion Jones going to what was it? It was like Hope or something. I forgot what school it was, but it was a pretty good one. I'm about to look it up here. But we've had a lot of kids commit recently. Hill College, my fault. Why did I say Hope? Yeah, he's a Fab 40 alum. Who else can you think of that also committed? Can you think of anybody?
It's been a lot. I think kids are starting to realize, it's time. Of course, Christian Bullock said he's letting us know where he's going. I think he said 9 days from now. I think 9 days now, and I think Demetric Wright said next week.
Yeah, so, we got to start getting these prospects some homes, right? I think like they got to start realizing that the times are ticking and people are gonna eventually they're not gonna be many spots. So you gotta find somewhere.
Right.
Somewhere that fits you and fits the family, I think. And I think that it helps to have good connections. People like the people who run the Fab 40, Charles Clark, Jay Anderson, Anthony Britton.
Right.
Not just high school, but middle school. They're putting out the future stars of high school basketball, kids that can play at the D2, D3 level. Of course, Trey Corden, Hoop Farm Mixtapes, has put out.
Trey dropped a bunch of heat yesterday.
The Hoop Farm Heat, baby. Hoop Farm Heat. Yeah, he's dropped a lot of senior tape on Avery Huggins from Beddingfield, Trevon Ward, June from South Central, Zachville Smith from Green Central, who's also a great football player as well. He's got Jamarian Griffin from Rose. I mean, Q Chesson, Quamel Chesson from Washington County. So he's putting out that. The one thing I love about Trey is that he's got knowledge of the JUCO so that JUCO coaches can know who the prospects are and can get them seen. So Trey and Jai Corden are friends of the show. They were on the show previously. We're gonna have. Hopefully we'll have a guest for our next show as well. Let's see. What else you want to talk about?
Let's talk about all WJG is coming up next 2 days. The final basketball team, and plus the awards next after that. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great season. So this is going to be the best of the best. Of course, we dropped the all-county teams. You can, of course, go check that out on our YouTube to see who won, or you can go to the website on wejournalgreatsports.com/WP.
Yeah, so the website is back up and running, people, just to let you know.
Yeah, we'll be trying to get some stuff out. Really, we just been working on the senior mixtapes, just trying to help out some kids, have video to send out to coaches, and of course, probably the next one's probably gonna be Linwood Grandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wood. 1,000.4 Wayne Country Day. 2 straight state championship appearances.
Right, of course, he has an offer from Bluefield, an offer from Wake Tech.
We've got some tape coming.
But I also I want to talk a little bit about the all-county process a little bit.
Yeah. Break it down for us.
Also all WJG. I mean, really, we looked at it. We took coaches' nominations. We also took stats from Max Preps. Of course, eye test. Because there's some. Max Preps sometimes has some cap on this app.
Cap.
But so we looked at everything, and we came back and we figured out the best 15 seasons in the Johnson County area, then also on the Wayne/Green/Way Green, as we call it, well, area.
Way Green?
Yeah, Way Green. So yeah, we figured it out through that process. 15 boys, 15 girls, first team, second team, third team, kind of similar to like the way the NBA does the all NBA selections.
The 15 spots. I think having the group, like the 30 kids that we picked for the county teams, I mean, all of them put on, and they really deserve to be. They deserve a lot of credit for being a huge part of their team success. I mean, I think of just like a few players that stood out to me, like Anna Taylor at News Charter. I mean, that young lady's got a bright future ahead of her. One of the best shooters in our area. Of course, Jakia Brudson and Wayne today, another Final Four appearance for her. Her and Lexi Jeffries played great. Of course, on the boys' side, you got BJ and CJ. Of course, they've been kind of there's like a healthy debate of rivalry of players and stuff with all that. But one thing you can't debate is those two really put on for their schools and represented very well.
Right.
Of course,
CJ finished up as a 1,500 point scorer.
Yeah, that's we like that. We like that a lot. We love it. Of course. Well, let's see who on the Wayne side stood out for me. I would say, of course, Jaden Cooper, Wayne coach today. He's committed to Columbia. Of course, he committed during the season. He been a huge part of this team's success for a while. I also think of players like we talked about Devin Brown. He was huge for Eastern Wayne this season. Of course, do you have any like Bullock, Xavion Atkinson, Corey Faison, those three at Goldsboro? I mean, it's just we are blessed to cover. Kind of covers it. I just kind of help when I can, of course. But
you saw just as much Wayne County basketball as I did.
Man, well,
more Wayne County basketball. You didn't see much Johnson County, but you probably saw as much Wayne County. Yeah,
I mean, I do try my best to get to JoCo, like the schools I can get to. Of course, I was happy to see Clayton, Cleveland, and Corinth, of course, at least once this year, and Princeton and North Johnston, of course. Of course, we got it's not just the 30 prospects we picked. I mean, this area has got great basketball, and we're trying to put out. Not just for basketball, we're trying to get as much as these kids seen in every sport. And I think we've done a pretty good job with that, right?
Right.
But yeah, we'll do all WJG, which will be a combination of the two county teams. And then, of course, award winners, which will be, of course, we'll have a player and coach of the year, correct?
Right.
And do we have any other ones? What other ones are you thinking of, my man?
Well, we got Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, and, of course, Rookie of the Year. So,
all right.
Keeping in the mold of that NBA type deal.
I like it. I think this is going to be – I think the projects have turned out great. You've done a great job with that. I tried to. I think I gave a good amount of input. I've been trying to help people with all area teams, and even I might think of doing one for Pitt/Greene County, since I haven't been able to do one yet. So be on the lookout for that. My girls one's probably going to go on Prep Girls Hoops NC. So if you want to see that, it will be there.
Make sure you buy a subscription to Prep Girls NC, where we both write for.
Yeah, PGHNC, we both write for them. We've been trying to get as much love for ENC as we can. We've got some more commits. I mean, Janae Goddard at Riverside is also going to NC Wesleyan with Deanna Adams, so that's another great pickup for them. I got to see them early in the season against not early, but late in the season against Washington County, and she played great in that game. And she's really good. She's a bucket getter. But yeah, we've got a lot of. We're trying to get as much content as we can for what's been going on. Obviously, it is hard for us sports writers to, especially freelance sports writer like this guy, to get some things out. But we're trying our best, and we hopefully will find a solution to this and get back to normal as soon as we possibly can. But all we can do is stay safe and just keep doing proper hygiene. That's all we can really do right now, because everything's just crazy right now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think really that's about all we got to talk about here on the show today. I think we ran through as much as we could run through right now.
Yeah, 35 minutes. I think 36 minutes is pretty good first show back.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, we're normally doing an hour-long show, so I think, we're going to kind of cut it short, We don't have any bosses that tell us we have to fill up minutes. We're not on Spotify or anything like that.
I mean, we are technically, but
technically,
but,
not our main platform necessarily, but we there.
Yeah,
we there.
But just to let people know, the Just Like Brothers podcast, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google, we're on YouTube, we're on Anchor. We're on. That's it. And
we're all over the place, man. We are out here. We're gonna be podding. Now that we have figured out how to telecommunicate podcasts, check out Leica there with the Kobe Bryant throwback.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just now at this point we've reached the show where I just parade my jerseys. Like, this is like the most recent one I got of the GOAT right here.
Look at this dude flexing.
I'm willing to debate it with anybody. It's just I got this from Spain last summer.
Dude over here flexing. He said, "Look what I bought with these freelance checks."
Man, what? I mean, you tried to take a picture. You took a picture of me in this thing earlier. I mean, I don't know. People have been asking, like, Junior's just asked me. He asked me on Twitter. He's like, "So what are we staying woke about now?" I'm like, "Oh no." What am I supposed to do? But I just keep this on my door. I mean, it's just like stuff like this right here and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it's a really good first show back. You can find me on Twitter at StrikingNation24_ and on Instagram.
All right.
What about you, sir? Where can they find you?
You can't find me anywhere.
At MMJ Kai Jones.
I'm nowhere to be found.
Also, I forgot to say this to you, man, on the show. Happy anniversary, man.
Oh, thanks.
You know how much love I got for you and Aaliyah. So, I know she could hear us, but
Yeah, she's working from home, and I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know how much you guys mean a lot to me, of course. But yeah, at MMJ Kai Jones for him. You can find WJG Sports on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. The Twitter is almost at 1,500 followers.
And real way.
Yeah, and let's see, YouTube, we're at 890 subs now, which is amazing.
Come on, people, 110. Come on, 110. Let's go.
Well, let's get 10, and then we get the next 100. How about that?
110, go. 110, let's go.
We want to, I guess 110. Well, we are 10 away from 900 and 100 away from 1,000, 110 away from 1,000. So we really appreciate you taking the time to watch us, as always. We appreciate all the support of our work from recently. We've gotten a lot of love from people for the things we've been doing. So we really want to give back to the community and try to help these kids as much as possible. So, and it's fun. It's been fun doing this, huh?
Yeah, it has.
But yeah, episode 39, Just Like Brothers podcast. We will see you again soon. Peace out.